Okay? I think McLuhan figured out a really appropriate way to talk about the unconscious. On page 31 of the book Counterblast, which came out in 1969, he says the archetypes of the social unconscious are the media or unconscious environments. So that's the beginning point. So you have speech is an archetype of the social unconscious. And then print is an archetype. Movies are an archetype. So you go through all the media listed in Understanding Media. They are the archetypes of what people are not aware of. So it's an improvement on Freud's unconscious. It's a improvement on Jung's subconscious or unconscious, the collective unconscious. And maybe there's a few other people like Foucault who has a cultural unconscious he tries to analyze, but it's very much the same as McLuhan's technical unconscious. But Foucault emphasizes the Guber galaxy unconscious. So when we were listening to this speech, where McLuhan's talking about the harvesting of the subconscious for wealth, he's talking about, in that excerpt from 1966 or so, he's talking about the unconscious in the chemical body and how advertising tries to manipulate that. That is one particular unconscious when you think of the five bodies. So the media unconscious, the social unconscious in those archetypes, they merge into the android meme. So up to 1980, his archetypes of the social unconscious are operational, and he saw this coming. But when they merge into one unconscious, which is not at all like an unconscious, people can interact in Web 2.0 quite consciously about all kinds of things. They can talk about concepts of the unconscious, historically that came from Freud or Jung and other people. And if they're informed, they can include McLuhan's unconscious. So we have a collective consciousness happening now, which people can disconnect from with Web 2.0 and create their own expression, which is them adopting a private unconscious. That's where you take those words from McLuhan, where the unconscious of the chemical body that advertising tried to exploit, it didn't seem to be exploited by, no, say it this way, the unconscious as McLuhan defines it was not exploited until the military in the United States started to use sociological algorithms and approach McLuhan's tetrad. So that McLuhan's tetrad, the four phases, the four laws, the military figured out. And so they used it during the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. So that was the first use of media archetypal unconscious processes for cultures that were moving into the first half of the 20th century at best, or moving into ideals from the 19th century and the Enlightenment. They were just becoming democracies as a new, exciting novelty. So that those unconscious processes could be manipulated by intelligence agencies around the world. Meanwhile, the android meme allows people to adopt an unconscious on purpose. McLuhan agreed with Mr. Key that advertisers put in negative imagery embedded, like subliminally, in the advertising. They wanted to have negative, horrifying suggestions like images of death, in the ads because ads were too much good news. So you had to sprinkle bad news suggestions in the ads. So that was
Oh,